Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 23 video. In today's episode, we're going to be doing kind of like a little unique video here. A lot of people aren't going to be expecting this, but I am going to be trading away Dak Prescott in this video because believe it or not, there are plenty of Cowboys fans, as much as they love just to glaze Dak Prescott, there are plenty of Cowboys fans who are coming for his head after this playoff loss. Everyone was like, oh, Dak, I've heard so many people say that Dak Prescott was a top 5 QB after the Buccaneers playoff game. Then as soon as he got to that Niners game, no, done. The hype train was all over. I don't think... Please, Cowboys fans, do not get upset in the comments. It's just an opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, I don't really care. I don't think Dak Prescott is a top 10 QB. I'd probably have him around like 12 or 13 in terms of QBs. It's just, I'm sorry, I don't really see the hype about him. Like, sure, he's got the stats sometimes, and then people will say, oh, the interceptions this year. And then a lot of other people will say, oh, the interceptions weren't his fault. And I can see a lot of the interceptions were not his fault. Like, who is that guy? Noah Brown? He's dropped plenty of passes that have turned into interceptions. So I can see either take on his turnover problem. But in my personal opinion, I just don't think Dak is worth the money. But don't get me wrong. For a 4th round pick, he's a great player. For a 4th round pick as a QB, that was a steal in the draft. But at the same time, I'm not impressed by Dak Prescott. So I'm going to be trading him in this rebuild. Will this happen in real life? Absolutely not. I can see this happening maybe like a 5% chance if somehow Jerry Jones just dies and just evaporates out of oblivion. Jerry Jones just doesn't die. He's kind of like Queen Elizabeth, but even though Queen Elizabeth is dead now, but he's the male Queen Elizabeth here. And Jerry Jones is not going to get rid of Dak Prescott. He already paid him so much money. So for the rest of the team, Zeke has already said in real life that he's willing to come back to the Cowboys and he's willing to even take a pay cut and a lower contract to stay with the Cowboys. Tony Pollard also wants to come back to the Cowboys. A lot of people say Tony Pollard's better than Zeke, and people say Zeke is overrated. People forget that Zeke still is a good running back. He just isn't as good as he used to be. Like rookie year Zeke was crazy. But he's still a good running back, but he's definitely not worth what he's being paid. But if he does take a contract cut on his pay, I think he's totally worth it to keep this dual threat in the backfield with the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb is great. Noah Brown, he's got some hands problems, but he's a pretty good route runner, I'm not going to lie. Michael Gallup is good when he's actually on the field. T.Y. Hilton was just a desperation signing. Dalton Schultz, very underrated. Tyler Smith, honestly, has not been that bad this season. I think he should have star dev, but I'm not going to give it to him. Zach Martin, one of the best, if not the best guard of all time. Tyron Smith, good when he's on the field, but that's kind of the problem. He's not always on the field. I'm going to take Terrence Steele. I'm not going to take... I was about to say I'm going to move him to left guard, but I'll just keep him at right tackle. Defensively, though, where is... Oh, Micah Parsons is playing... I don't like that. I'm going to take Micah Parsons and move him down to right end instead of having him out right outside linebacker. A little goofy to me that they're in a 4-3 scheme, but they have him listed as an outside linebacker. I didn't change the scheme yet. But interesting, Anthony Barr at the outside linebacker position, Malik Hooker. Trayvon Diggs is an X factor. I mean, he definitely fixed a lot of his problems this year with blowing coverage and then getting a pick and then blowing coverage again. Trayvon Mullen, I'm only promoting him to a second string right now just because he has star dev, but he really hasn't been that good. Dude's been passed around. He was a 2nd round pick for the Raiders, got picked up for a 6th round pick, I think from the Cardinals, if I'm not wrong, and then he just got cut. Who is this? Jason Curse or Jerron Curse, and then who was behind Jerron Curse? Wilson? Who is this? Donovan Wilson. Okay. Interesting. Just an interesting team overall, but I am going to be trading away Dak Prescott. First, though, I do want to get into the retirements and re-signings, see what we got here for the NFC East, as we got Jason Kelce retires after the Super Bowl. Interesting. Players ready to negotiate. I could see that happening for sure. Tony Pollard, for some reason in this simulation, has no interest in re-signing. Whenever in real life, I know for a fact he does. I guess do I want to overpay him? I really don't, but he also just doesn't want to play. I guess I'll just pay him and then maybe renegotiate some of his contract so that way it's more realistic. Dalton Schultz, I do think is going to come back in real life. I'll give him this contract. He resigns. Leighton Vander Esch was a 1st round pick. And yeah, he was a 24-year-old rookie. God, that's ugly. Anyways, I will re-sign him though. And what do we got? Donovan Wilson can walk. Terrence Steele can walk. Brett Maher can walk. Dude was perfect in the regular season. Then the playoffs, he's like, nah, I'm going to miss every single extra point. Dante Fowler was a total bust. T.Y. Hilton, desperation signing Anthony Barr, desperation signing Noah Brown. Get your hands in check. And Trayvon Mullen. Man, maybe you'll be good depth. Yeah, this is a stupid cheap contract. Actually, I'll give him on a dumber cheap contract. Team friendly, and then 5 years. Yeah, stupid cheap contract, and he's going to be good depth for me at least. So that's fine by me, especially since he has star dev. Everyone else here I don't care about. So apart from that, guys, it's now time to move into free agency and trade Dak Prescott.
All right, last question. Weirdest thing about you that few people know?
I have a foot fetish.
A foot fetish?
Yeah.
You like toes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trading away Dak Prescott and a 4th-round pick for the Atlanta Falcons' 1st-round pick this year, 1st-round pick next year, and their 2nd-round pick this year. I think Dak Prescott to the Falcons would be sick, honestly, in real life, so I honestly really like this trade. After free agency, I got Mecole Hardman, Mike Hughes, and believe it or not, Jimmy Garoppolo on a 1-year team-friendly deal. I think the team's honestly going to be not that bad with Jimmy Garoppolo QB, so let's move into the draft. In the 1st round, I have the Cowboys picking up Trent Simpson out of Clemson. Hidden development, 6'3", and we also have another 1st-round pick because the Atlanta Falcons. And with my other 1st-round pick, I'm picking up Cam Smith out of South Carolina, 6 foot, 188 pounds out of South Carolina with 94 speed, so he is pretty quick. So here we are after the draft. Vorez I got in the 2nd round. He's 75 overall without the boost, but only normal dev, unfortunately. Maybe look to replace him later. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to take the lead. Joshua Dobbs. His face always looks so goofy to me. I'm sorry. Defensively, Simpson is a 78 overall with the boost. Smith is a 77. I'm going to move him above the other guy. And Neville Gallimore, I am just going to start just because of his star development. How old is Neville Gallimore? He's 26. Really doesn't matter, I guess. So I actually will move him back down. If he was like 24, it would be a different story. But this is what we got for the team. I got this guy. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. In the 2nd round, only normal dev, unfortunately, using Bengals draft class as well. Specialist Cam Smith is in the slot. Simpson, I am going to move up for the edge rusher. Let's move up this guy so that way he can potentially get more reps in. Same with him. And yeah, I'm going to move him up to the starting defensive tackle. So apart from that, guys, let's see what Jimmy Garoppolo can do with this team. And let's move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, guys. We are 5-1, top of the division above the Eagles, dude. But that can change at any point if we lose to the Chargers this week. Scouting national focus. What do I want? I mean, our defense is honestly pretty good. I do think we need interior offensive line more than anything. So we are going to be focusing on that, even though it did seem like it was like a weak offensive lineman class there whenever I looked at the scouting weaknesses in the class. But Joshua Dobbs, no thanks. Tyron Smith. If you don't retire, I'm cool with you coming back. 20 million a year is kind of crazy, but do I really have a choice? I don't really think so. And he resigns. CD's nuts. I'll put a neutral offer in and see what he does. Okay, so he just wants more money. I'll see if his interest goes up by the end of the season. Trayvon Diggs does want to come back, so I'll give him this base deal, and he resigns. Malik Hooker. I really don't know how I feel about this. I feel like I can get someone better in free agency, and since he already has interest in the team, I feel like he can hit free agency, and if I can't find someone better, I'll just bring him back. Same case with Jerron Curse. Tyler, I don't really think I want, even. Armstrong, no. Jimmy G, honestly, a maybe. If he accepts another team-friendly deal, Neville Gallimore can honestly walk. He's too low of an overall to actually develop. So anyways, guys, let's move in to the playoffs. And with Jimmy Garoppolo, we go 13-4, top the division, and have the 2nd best offensive points per game in the league. Basically the best defense in points per game and defensive rushing game, and defensive passing game is 3rd. Stats and awards, let's see what we got here. Our offense was the best in the league. Jimmy G went crazy, and defensively, we were the best in the league. Zeke went crazy as well. Let's see what we got. Jimmy G was really not top 5. I would expect he'd be top 3 for league MVP. And there is no, oh my God, Taylor Heineke on the Buccaneers gets 9th for MVP, but Geno Smith with the Panthers, I don't see any Dak Prescott, so good for me. Let's see where he's at on the Falcons, honestly. Not that good of a season, 30 for 15 and 4,400 yards. Wow, we had more yards, more touchdowns. And what, is that less interceptions? I already forgot. Yeah, less interceptions. What a trade for us, man. 5,200 yards, 40 touchdowns, 14 receptions. If he maybe got that down to like 8 or 7, he probably would have won MVP. And 71% completion percentage. Zeke with 18 touchdowns, 5.3 per carry, almost 1,600 yards. Crazy season. We all know that Tony Pollard would get more reps than this. It's kind of crazy. CeeDee Lamb, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, 10 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. Michael Gallup, exactly 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. And Dalton Schultz, 5 yards shy of 1,000 yards. Defensively, Trent Simpson, the rookie, with 113 tackles for a loss, 18 for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons breaks the sack record. 29.5 is crazy. DeMarcus Lawrence having 22 is crazy as well. Just Micah Parsons just puts DeMarcus Lawrence in his shadow because he puts 29.5 in a single season. DeMarcus Lawrence is probably going to get superstar again for a development trait. Interceptions, Daron Bland, who is that? Gets 2 interceptions. Okay, safety 0, defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, let's see what we got. Let's see what we have here for this divisional round matchup. I really don't want to face the Eagles because they are pretty good in simulation. And we're facing the 10-7 New York Giants. I know Danny Dimes is not their quarterback anymore because I saw him in free agency in the last period. So I would like to know who their QB is. Jacoby Brissett, dude, I swear to God. They need to nerf this guy. It's so annoying seeing him in simulation. Anyways, 10-7 New York Giants versus the Cowboys, and we lose to Jacoby Brissett. All right, let's move into the offseason. And the Tennessee Titans beat Taylor Heineke in the Super Bowl. And Autry wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP. Micah Parsons wins the Defensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons should have got league MVP for putting up 29.5 sacks in a single season. But let's see what we got for the development upgrades. Jimmy G, I think he should get star development, but I guess he's regressing, so they're not even going to give it to him. Zeke gets X Factor. CeeDee Lamb had a great season. Michael Gallup also had a... Mecole Hardman had 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. I would think that would get him superstar, but I guess not. Defensively looking into it, Trent Simpson. Did he get Defensive Rookie of the Year? How did he get Superstar? Because I don't think he came with that. And, oh no, he came with Superstar Development. Okay, I'm fine with that. I like to see that. And for the rest of the defense, let's see what we got here. DeMarcus Lawrence having 22 sacks in a season. I get he's in the shadow of Micah Parsons. He should get X Factor, but I'm only going to give him Superstar. I'm just going to make his development trait go up by 1. He gets 22 sacks in a season. You're telling me he doesn't get development upgrade? And it's total crap. Cam Smith, did he get a development upgrade or did he already come with Superstar? I guess Bengals draft class is kind of stacked. Past the first round, though, it's really not. Mike Hughes, Trayvon Mullen. Yeah, I think, we're great on DBs. Our secondary is good. I do want to replace both the safeties, though. I probably should have scouted safety. And yeah, I need to work on our interior defensive line, even though we were 3rd in the rushing game this year. So let's move into the re-sign players. For the retirements, Brandon Graham retires on his rivalry team, the New York Giants. Let's see the players ready to negotiate. CeeDee Lamb, do you have an interest in coming back? No, really. What do you particularly want, though, is my question. Do you want like a mentor or something? I mean, you're not even a rookie anymore. What is his motivations? No players have a tag. Just okay, so he's close to home. He's a big market. He doesn't have to pay state income taxes just because he doesn't have a player tag. I can't control that he doesn't have a player tag. Oh no, team has franchise QB. That's what he wants. He wants a franchise QB. I mean, you made the playoffs and he got an MVP, but sure. I guess I'm just gonna have to overpay for you. $23 million a year. I have to pay him it. I already explained Malik Hooker and J-Ron's curse's situation. Don't want Tyler. Neville Gallimore is already 27 and 73. Jimmy G put up those numbers. I'm not just going to let him walk, and he resigns just on another 1-year deal. But I am going to try and draft a rookie. So apart from that, let's move to free agency. So after free agency, I replaced both of my safeties with Anton Winfield Jr. and Grant Delpit. 2 upgrades. I'm glad I didn't resign any of my previous safeties. Got Willie Gay for my right outside linebacker position and Ben Barch to fill in the left guard position. So anyways, guys, apart from that, I am going to actually look at the scouting of private workouts, and I'm going to look at QB real quick. I know I looked at interior offensive line. I'm not going to be able to pick in the top 5. I'll see what these 3 guys got just to confirm those. QB class is insane, but I definitely need a QB behind Jimmy Garoppolo just in case he falls off. So let's get to the draft. With my first round pick from the Atlanta Falcons, there's no QBs on the board. They're all off the board. The next good one is in the 3rd round. So I went with the defensive tackle, Emmett Poole out of Clemson. Hidden development, 6'4", 310, and 87 strength. He's going to be good. And in the 2nd round, I'm picking up the center, Chris Lindsay out of Mississippi State, 6'1", which is a little short for an offensive lineman, but still he's 296 hidden development, 85 strength. And here we are after the draft. This is what we got going here. I'm going to move Ben Barch up over this other guy that I drafted in year 1 just because he has star dev. That's the only reason. Lindsey is a star dev or better. Maine is a 67. I picked him up in the 3rd round. Still going to start Garoppolo because he had a crazy season. There's no reason to start this guy over Garoppolo. Tony Pollard, Zeke, and defensively, Poole is a star dev better, 75 overall. And team's looking pretty great, honestly. I really like what we got here. Yeah, really like the depth. And I'm going to move Trayvon Mullen up over Bland. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to move into the midseason mark. We are at the midseason mark as we are 6-1 top the division. There's no reason to replace Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. 35 to 28, but he will regress to a point where simulation will not help him anymore because the pieces around him is what's good. And also Jimmy Garoppolo is a god in simulation with Dallas's playbooks. So there is that. Scouting national focus, I guess I will delegate it to QB, even though we won't be able to necessarily develop one to like an 84, 85 overall by the time we actually get there. And we no longer have 2 first-round picks because we used the Falcons' first-round picks for Dak Prescott. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see what we got here. Micah Parsons does not want to return. Boo-hoo. That's unfortunate. You're playing here. I don't care if you didn't accept the deal now. You're going to accept it later. Zach Martin, you're going to play here as well. And he resigns. And DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't know if I have money for you, so we're going to have to hold off on you, DeMarcus Lawrence. Not to undervalue you, because you did have 22 sacks in the previous season. It's just, you know, like, Micah Parsons is, you know, better. So, I need Micah Parsons to be happy. Matter of fact, what does Micah Parsons particularly want? He's probably going to be like, oh, I'm not close to home. So let's see what his tags are. Yeah, not close to home. Jeez, dude. He wants to be in Pennsylvania. He'll probably go to Pittsburgh. He has no mentor at the position. So that would help him, apparently. So I will get a mentor for Micah Parsons. Sure, Robert Quinn, you were on the Eagles, you were on the Bears. Doesn't matter, you're playing for the rivals now just to make sure Micah Parsons is happy. And we're going to have to cut one player. Imagine it cuts Robert Quinn. Sure, this guy, sorry, we need a mentor and we value Micah Parsons more than anyone else in this franchise. So apart from that, guys, let's move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs going 14-3, top of the division. The Eagles go 6-11. That's kind of crazy. Stats and awards, let's see what we got. Jimmy G didn't do as good as last season, but still did great. 14th best offense in the NFL, 2nd best defense. Jimmy G, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 10 receptions. Great season. Let's see what the Falcons did with Dak. He did much better. Yeah. Unfortunate for us, but it's fine. I guess we got to move on from Jimmy G. I mean, still, this is a great season. I'll probably re-sign him for another year, but I am going to be drafting a rookie QB. Looking at Zeke's stats, did great, 15 touchdowns, 4.6 per carry, 1,400 yards. Michael Gallup, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. If he had like 1,200 yards, I probably would have just given him superstar, but he didn't have enough yards. Dalton Schultz, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, I completely overpaid for you, and you completely underwhelmed me, okay? Looking at it defensively, Leighton Vander Esch, 103 tackles for a loss, 23 for DeMarcus Lawrence, sacks, 23 for Micah Parsons, 11 for DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence having 23 tackles for a loss is great, and 11 sacks is great. I just don't know if I can afford to re-sign him. 3 interceptions for Leighton Vander Esch. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, let's see. We're going to be playing the divisional round. Hopefully Jimmy Garoppolo can actually get us the win this time. If we're facing the Giants again and we lose, I'm going to be upset, especially if it's Jacoby Brissett that's playing. Yeah, if it's Jacoby Brissett, we're going to lose. It's just a guaranteed at this point. So let's see what we got. QB, Justin Herbert, Jacoby Brissett's on the team, so it doesn't matter. Justin Herbert's going to get hurt, and Jacoby Brissett's going to play even though injury's off. So let's see if we can beat Justin Herbert and the New York Giants, and we do. Here to face the 13-4 Arizona Cardinals to move on to the Super Bowl. Let's see if we can do it and move into it. So apparently J.J. Watt is still on their team. EA just refuses to update the rosters, so I may have to go in, make my own roster, and just kick them off the Cardinals roster completely. But I'll do that and adjust my own rosters after this. But currently, 6-21 at Arlington, Texas, 13-21 now in the 4th quarter. And we put on more points for good measure, and 13-24, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to move on to the Super Bowl. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 14-3 Kansas City Chiefs. It looks like the 1 seed is going to be playing the 1 seed here. Kansas City Chiefs, 1 seed versus the 1 seed Dallas Cowboys. But let's see if there is any development upgrades. Jimmy Garoppolo should have star dev, and they're not going to give it to him. Lindsey has star dev. They're not, for some reason, Barch got moved. I don't like that. Dalton Schultz gets superstar development, which I love to see. Defensively looking into it, looks like DeMarcus Lawrence gets X Factor, which is crazy. Stop moving my players around, dude. I hate that. I hate that so much. This guy, I should be able to see his development, but I can't. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. It's because I signed Robert Quinn. That's the reason why. But anyways, guys, apart from that, it's now time to move into the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs and see if we can win. Here we are in Las Vegas, I think, as it is a 7-3 start for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now 7-6, 14-6, 14-13, and it is going to be 17-13 at the halftime mark. 24-13 now, 24-16. I wouldn't be upset if we lost this. It would seem kind of realistic. But first lead of the game for us, 25-24, 30-25. 30-33, and that's going to do it. Jimmy Garoppolo wins the Dallas Cowboys the Super Bowl, and this is going to be a successful rebuild without Dak Prescott. Jimmy G can't believe it. He's done it for an NFC team, not the San Francisco 49ers, and let's see the Super Bowl MVP. Your Super Bowl MVP is Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe he's carrying us the wins and not Jimmy Garoppolo, but Jimmy Garoppolo is still having good stats. Trey Lance wins the league MVP. Micah Parsons wins a back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year award. And we've already seen the development upgrade, so let's move into the re-signings. And in the NFC East, Robert Quinn retires. Dude, you could have retired the next day. This is the worst possible timing that you could have done this. He got his ring from us and dipped. This was the worst possible timing. I needed you for one more day so I could re-sign Micah Parsons, dude. The worst timing. If DeMarcus Lawrence retired, I would have been fine with that. Now that puts me in a predicament. That's so frustrating. I have to overpay him so much. I'm paying him $40 million a year, and he still wants to play for a new team. It'd be cheaper to tag him, actually. Yeah, it would be cheaper to tag him. Yeah, I'm going to re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence than tag him. DeMarcus Lawrence on a 2-year deal. He's still wreaking havoc. This guy can walk, and yeah, everyone else can walk. I'm going to tag you. You're much cheaper to tag, and you can tag players, you can tag players twice in a row in Madden. I only have $18 million to spend. I'm not going to spend it in free agency. Let's get to the draft. In the first round, I'm picking up quarterback Cody Barnett out of Western Kentucky. And yes, I forgot to re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo. He may still be there in free agency, but I actually did forget to re-sign him, which sucks, but Cody Barnett, sure, you're our next QB. Now here we are after the draft, and it looks like, wow, Barnett sucks. So it looks like Maine's going to be the starter. I am so sorry to Cowboys fans that are like, oh my God, you suck at drafting. I'm sorry, I can't draft any QBs because, quite frankly, all the QB classes have sucked. Bad. Ben Barch won't even develop at this point. I'll just bench him. Kirk Cousins, I signed as a mentor. Unfortunately, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't there in free agency. I completely skipped over him somehow while looking through re-signings. Sorry. Defensively looking into it. Pool, I'm going to move up. Marcus Lawrence, thrown. Where is my mentor? They cut my mentor. I signed a mentor for Micah Parsons, and they just cut him. Don't cut him this time, please, because I need him on my team. So that way, Micah Parsons actually resigns, even though it'd be cheaper to franchise tag him. I just don't want to keep doing it over and over again. Lorenzo Boone sounds like a hard name. This guy looks like he sucks. You're a 61 overall tight end. You can get off my team. So apart from that, let's move in with our rookie quarterback, Maine, to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark with our QB. So it really doesn't matter who we have at QB. This just proves Dak Prescott is terrible. No, it doesn't prove anything. It's a Madden simulation. But we are 5-1 top the division. Scouting national focus. Do I scout a QB again? Like, I don't have money. Yeah, we don't have money. And all of our QBs suck. And the strength of a class is finally quarterback. So sure, maybe we'll find a better one. Players ready to negotiate. Let's see what we got here. Micah Parsons, Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke, I do want back. So we're going to bring him back. And he resigns. Tyler Smith, I do want back as well. And he resigns. Donovan Bland is honestly good depth. He hasn't even been bad. It's a stupid cheap contract. He resigns. I know you're probably thinking, oh, why aren't you resigning Micah Parsons? I gave you a mentor, Micah Parsons. He's right here, and you're still not liking him. This guy's name is starred out. Okay, interesting. What do you want, Micah Parsons? You just want to be in Pennsylvania so bad? Yeah, you have a mentor. You have historic championships. You have no state income tax. you just want to be with the Steelers so bad, dude. You just want to be there so bad. I don't really care. I gave you a mentor. You're gonna play. You're gonna play, and he resigns finally. Guess what? I have no money for the rest of you. He took it all, so you guys can all walk. And apart from that, it's not time to move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Jets as we finished 11-6, second in the division behind Justin Herbert and the Giants. Who is the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I swear to God, if it's Taylor Heineke, dude. Let's see what we got. Quarterback is Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields and the Buccaneers, I can actually see happening in real life. That'd be sick, actually. I think you would look cool in red. Anyways, wow. Gregory Maine, 6th best offense in the NFL, 2nd best defense. Great in passing yards, decent in touchdowns. Interceptions needs to be going down a little bit. Let's see what we got for Dak Prescott. He did pretty good this year other than his turnover problem, but still, I think Gregory Maine had slightly more passing yards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, only by a little bit. Not much to actually make a huge difference. Not much to make a difference at all, really. But he had less touchdowns, 2 less interceptions. Still, it's because of the scheme. Ezekiel Elliott, 4.7 per carry, 18 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. And Michael Gallup, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Probably the most productive season for him so far. Mecole Hardman, 1,111. And 7 touchdowns. CD Lamb, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 10 yards shy of 1,000 yard season with 6 touchdowns. Looking at it defensively, Leighton Vander Esch, 116 tackles for a loss, 16 for DeMarcus Lawrence, sacks, 26 for Michael Parsons, 14.5 for DeMarcus Lawrence, and 9.5 for Emmett Poole. Good stuff. I like that rookie. 3 interceptions for Trent Simpson, safeties 1 for Emmett Poole, and defensive touchdown 0. Maybe Emmett Poole gets superstar dev. I'm really sad that he wasn't starting his first season because of the constant roster changes. But anyways, let's see what we got here. We beat Justin Fields in the playoffs. Let's see if we can beat the Seattle Seahawks, who are 11-6. I wonder who the quarterback is. And we do beat them here to face the Cardinals again in the conference championship. But I still want to see who the Seahawks quarterback is. I know you guys are like, oh, it doesn't matter. You already beat them. I don't care. I still want to see Bryce Young. Wow. So they traded up in the draft and stole Bryce Young. Interesting. We've already won the conference championship. We've already won the Super Bowl, so I am going to simulate this game. Do we make it back-to-back? We do not. The Cardinals take it, and they're here to face the Chiefs. We could have had a Chiefs and Cowboys rematch, but let's move to the offseason. And the Cardinals beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Byron Murphy Jr. wins the Super Bowl MVP. Deshaun Watson wins the league MVP. Really, Nick Bosa wins Defensive Player of the Year over Mike Parsons? That is quite interesting, but let's see the roster upgrades. Offensively, McMahon does not get a development upgrade, so I am still going to draft a quarterback because he's only a 73 overall without the boost. Defensively, looking at it, it looks like Poole does not get an upgrade, and everybody else looks the same. Wow, did nobody get an upgrade? That is quite unfortunate. Anyways, let's move into the re-sign players. And nobody on the Cowboys retires, but Andrew Norwell does retire with the Washington Redskins. Oops, I mean the Commanders. No, I'm not kidding. It's the Redskins. Anyways, I don't really have money for anyone, and to be honest, I really do not like anyone at all. Maybe Kirk Cousins as a mentor for 1 more year. I'll take Kirk for 1 more year mentor just for my new rookie QB. Don't have any money for free agency, so let's just skip to the draft. So now I'm giving away 2 first-round picks and Michael Gallup to get pick number 8, so that way I can trade up and pick a quarterback. It's a stacked quarterback class, but they're all near the top of the board. I couldn't get one at pick 30, so I needed to trade up and get this guy. Terrell Chason. He's a decent athlete, like him. A awareness, oh my god, dude, out of Oregon. Normal dev. He's going to be the guy for the final year. We can't keep a consistent QB. Traded away everything for him. Let's move to the 3rd round. And here we are in the 4th and final season. He's just a 73 overall, which isn't horrible, but still, he's going to be the starter. Let's see what we got with him, dude. We cannot, I think the highest overall QB we had after we traded Dak Prescott was 75 overall Jimmy Garoppolo, or 74. 86 speed, 91 acceleration. This dude just looks like Lamar Jackson in his rookie year. This dude looks crazy, other than Lamar Jackson was, significantly faster. And Tyron Smith retired. It never told me that. They just let him. I definitely would have re-signed him. And I definitely would have saw him there. He just retired. He just he was like, nah. Okay, interesting. I guess Ben Bartch is going to move all the way over to right tackle. I don't care if he's a left guard and is playing his opposite position. For some reason, we just said, nah, actually Ben Bartch is going to play left tackle because Tyler Smith is a right tackle, I'm pretty sure. So, or not. Is Tyler Smith a left tackle? No, Tyler Smith is a left tackle. So Ben Bartch is going to be playing right tackle. My bad. Complete opposite position. Do not care. I need to fill that position because Tyron Smith just retired, and they were just like, nah, we are not going to tell you. Because I definitely would have re-signed him if he was there. And Chase On is going to move up. Adjust the roster correctly, please. So he's going to start. And, oh yeah, also I got DJ Chark in free agency. I just signed him. Really not that big of a signing. But everyone else here looks all right. Poole, I do want starting because he is pretty good. Cam Smith really never developed, which is a little bit unfortunate. But honestly, is really not that bad either. So apart from that, guys, it is now time to get into the fourth and final season with our third different QB. So here we are again in the playoffs with a random QB, second in the division, 12-5. So we don't get home field advantages. We are going to be the 5th seed, coming off a win to the Cincinnati Bengals. We're here to face the Seahawks. Honestly, not a bad season for a rookie. 6th best offense in the NFL. Honestly, a great season for a rookie. Best defense in the NFL. 4,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Falcons have... Dak Prescott just had a better season. No other way to describe that. Looking at it for Zeke, 1,500 yards, 5.0 per carry, 20 touchdowns, best season yet. CeeDee Lamb, almost 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. TJ Chark, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Great season from him. Mecole Hardman, 1,000 yards, only 3 touchdowns though. Defensively, Leighton Vander Esch, 114 tackles for a loss, 19 for DeMarcus Ware, sacks, 32 for Micah Parsons, 23.5 from and 23.5 for DeMarcus Lawrence is crazy. But again, he's just in the shadow of Micah Parsons. I can't speak. Interceptions, 2 for Trent Simpson. Safeties, 1 for DeMarcus Lawrence, and 0 defensive touchdowns. DeMarcus Lawrence is being heavily underappreciated in this rebuild. But let's see if we can beat the 10-7 Seattle Seahawks with our new rookie QB for like the 5th time. And we do. Here to face the 12-5 Minnesota Vikings to see if we can move on to the conference championship with our rookie QB, and we do. Here to face Dak Prescott. Oh no, we gotta jump. We gotta jump into this. We're facing Dak Prescott. We gotta play him. And here we are in Atlanta, here to face Dak Prescott at his own home turf. But let's see if we can clean up the job. And it is a 3-3 start, 3-10, 3-17. He's running it up on us. He knows. He doesn't like us very much. 10-24. Come on. Ooh, comeback. 17-24. Nah, he's not going to allow that. He's not going to allow that comeback. And Dak Prescott is going to be moving on to the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter to me. We've already won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, so let's see if he wins it. And Dak Prescott gets humiliated in the Super Bowl. Devon Diablo, former Raiders player, gets the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP. Micah Parsons, another defensive player of the year. And our QB wins Rookie of the Year. Good stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see the roster lineup, and let's see the final overlook of the team. Wow. He went from normal to superstar? Dude's crazy. What? He got star dev. It said he got plus star dev, not superstar. How did he get superstar? I don't know how he got superstar, but he has it now, I guess. Sure. And then DJ Chark had a great season. Doesn't even get star dev. It's crazy. Let's look at the defense. Simpson is an X factor. Cam Smith, Mike Hughes has regressed a lot. But anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all for watching. This was a successful rebuild. Let me know down in the comments which team you'd like me to rebuild next. I'm trying to rebuild them all. And apart from that, guys, I'll see you guys all in the next one.